it's not always easy. And just because, I don't want to cry, but just because it seems like a breeze to others, some days they're extremely hard and frustrating. What's up, y'all, and welcome back to my universe. It's me, DC, and whether you're old or new to my channel, I would love if you hit the thumbs up button and subscribe. Today, I just wanted to, and I am aware that I probably look like a little girl, but today I am 34 weeks and 5 days. So this is full view of my bump at 34 weeks and 5 days. And it is as heavy as it looks. But I am so proud of my body and how it has transformed to be able to carry this baby. But I'm going to sit down now because I know I'm going to be out of breath in a minute. So I am registered with Amazon for anyone who wants to purchase anything for me or for the baby. My registry link will be linked down below. The registry will be up until 60 days after my original due date, which is March 5th. So we have about 4 to 5 weeks left. I am excited. However, the purpose of this video today is to just discuss with you all how has it been being pregnant during the pandemic. In addition to being pregnant during the pandemic, I'm a single mom. So, I mean, for the most part, this has been my happiest pregnancy. However, there have been some struggles with, emotions and just coping with being a single mom. Of course, I didn't intend to be a single mom. Prior to this pregnancy, and he's moving right now. But prior to this pregnancy, I gave birth to 2 other children. I have an older daughter who is 7 and a son who is 4. And he was diagnosed with autism at the age of 2. And I found out that I was pregnant the first week of July, if I'm not mistaken. Of course, we were 3 to 4 months into the pandemic at that point. Although I was working from home, I was in school, and the first trimester honestly was very difficult. I was exhausted all of the time, and I was also battling depression, anxiety, and things of that nature. But I did start talk therapy, which has been tremendous throughout this time, not only for the purpose of the pandemic, but also for my pregnancy and just my mental health overall. So if you are thinking about doing therapy, I would highly recommend you do so. It's very beneficial, regardless of stigma that comes along with therapy. And yeah, so I mean, of course, the first trimester was a little bit tough just because my body needed to prepare and get used to the additional hormones. And on top of going through the exhaustion, the anxiety, my appetite really didn't pick up until maybe 14 to 15 weeks. And I think by that time that was considered second trimester. On top of the stress of being home all day, sitting in front of a computer, working, trying to handle responsibilities around the house as far as cooking and cleaning, having the children home and out of school, during that time, it was definitely a challenge because I could not just stop. Despite being pregnant, I still had to care for my other children. And they are young, so they don't understand, okay, mommy's pregnant, she's tired. They still want to play. They still want to be children. And of course, my son, I'm not going to say he's opposed to change, but it takes him a while to process change. So just being out of a daycare facility and being at home majority of the day, it was difficult for him because his therapist had to begin coming to the home, and it was a challenge at first, but luckily I've made it out of that first trimester. And the second trimester, honestly, was a lot better. My appetite picked up. I wasn't as tired. I had more of a routine. And then my children started going back to school. I was still working from home. And even with, working from home, you would think that you would be comfortable because you're in your comfort zone. But to me, it still was very draining. My workload was just so demanding, and I decided that I wanted to take leave early. So I did, and obviously now I'm on leave and just waiting for the baby to come. But going through this whole experience while being single has also been a hurdle because, like I said initially, I didn't intend on being a single mom. I did expect to have a partner that would help me throughout this whole period, but I accept that everything is not in my control. Everything will not happen according to my plans, and however, I am still very grateful to be blessed with my son, and overall it has been the happiest pregnancy that I've ever had. So I'm very grateful and thankful for that. But when it comes to like physical work around the house, emotions and things like that, I still struggle a little bit. Like, I had to come to terms with the fact that my house won't be as tidy as I would like it all the time. I had to learn to kind of just relax and let things be as they are, because I am the type of person who always has to be getting something done. I always have to be cleaning something. I always have to be doing something. And I kind of felt guilty when I wasn't doing anything despite me being pregnant. So on top of having to tend to the children as far as, helping them get their schoolwork done, cooking, cleaning, bathing them, finding their clothes, doing the laundry, I also have to be the one that takes out the trash, goes grocery shopping, make sure the bills are paid, making sure all of our doctor's appointments are set and scheduled in a timely period. Just pretty much everything. I am the sole provider and woman of the household, so everything falls on me. And it's kind of overwhelming, especially when it's time to like go grocery shopping, or when it comes to taking out the trash, or just simply cooking. It's difficult because we have to social distance for one, and then with me being this pregnant, it's already hard enough to catch my breath. Like right now, I'm kind of getting short-winded, so you probably can hear it in my voice. But wearing a mask when we go out, it's hard enough to keep the mask on my son when we're out, and then having to keep my mask on while walking around and trying to breathe. It's really difficult. And then standing for me has become so exhausting. So simple things like cooking and washing the dishes, it gets extremely frustrating just because I have to stand. But I now have me a chair just in the kitchen. So when I'm washing dishes, I'm sitting down and I'm washing dishes. Or if I'm cooking, I have to have the chair up to the stove to cook. And then once the trash gets full, I have to be the one to tote the trash out. I pray that, in the future I have more support and help, that things become a little lighter on my shoulders. But until then, I have to do what a mother has to do. And, I'm not complaining, but in addition to everything that weighs on my shoulders at home during the pandemic, of course, most doctors are only allowing the patient into the office. So also just attending the appointments alone has been difficult as well. With my first two pregnancies, I did have their father there for a couple of appointments at least, but with this pregnancy, his father has not been able to come to any of the appointments, and neither do I feel that he's been concerned about when I go into the appointments. And although my pregnancy is pretty healthy, it just would feel better, if I felt that there was more like emotion behind it or involvement. So I'm just curious, since I've never given birth during the pandemic, I'm curious to know whether or not I am going to be required to take the test. And as far as I know, with other labor and delivery videos that I've watched along the way, that they only allow one person into the room, the labor and delivery room. So I'm having issues with that as well, because like I said, I've kind of gone through this whole pregnancy alone. Traditionally, it's expected for the dad to be in the labor and delivery room. However, just since I've gone through this pregnancy alone, physically and emotionally, I feel that I may not want the father in the labor and delivery room with me, just because I know that labor is tough, and I need someone that's going to be supportive. I need someone that's going to keep my mind in a great space, because I do intend on delivering naturally. So I am going to need as much physical and emotional support as possible to just keep my head in the right space. I don't, and at first I felt guilty about making that type of decision, but I have to do what's best for me overall. So if dad will not be in the labor and delivery room, I am going to decide to have my best friend in the labor and delivery room, just because she's a woman, of course, and I feel that she would be more understanding. And we have discussed this already, and I'm trying not to get just emotional about it, but I have to put my boundaries in place. I have to put me, my feelings and stuff first, and I'm sure there will be some backlash about the decision. And I know that he may not agree with my decision, but I mean, he really doesn't have the right to decide when he wants to and doesn't want to be a part of this journey. I'm just simply venting that it's not always easy. And just because I don't want to cry, but just because it seems like a breeze to others, some days they're extremely hard and frustrating. And I'm making the most of my day today, but this morning did start off a little bit challenging for me. My son, he just spilled water like all over the car, and I thought to not even open the water bottle for him, but I just felt okay, he might be thirsty because he didn't have breakfast before we left the house, and instead of drinking the water, he just poured it all over the back seat. So that frustrated me. And then my daughter decided that she wanted to stay up late last night while I was taking a nap, and she just did not want to cooperate getting ready for school this morning. And once I dropped them off to school, I needed to go to the grocery store, which, like I said, it's hard enough walking around the grocery store. So I did ride in the scooter, but just even carrying the groceries to the car, bringing them in the house, putting them up, it was just so exhausting. But I've ate breakfast now, and I intend on cleaning up since I haven't done any cleaning all week long. And I'm going to try to make the most of the rest of this day before it's time to go and pick them up. So, yeah. Being single and pregnant has been a challenge. Not all bad, but, not all good either. And I am just very excited and nervous at the same time because each and every day it gets closer and closer to delivery day. I am ready to meet my baby. So that's what keeps me going, on top of, having my other children. But just knowing that I have a purpose, and my body has come a long way. My mental state has come a long way, and soon I'll be making these videos with a little baby. So thank you guys for tuning in and just listening to me vent. I hope that this has shed some light on anyone who is currently pregnant and dealing with possibly the same emotions that I'm going through. If you are pregnant during this pandemic, let me know how your pregnancy went down below in the comments. Like, what did you feel? What did you expect? Like I said, definitely has not been all bad. My best pregnancy by far, just because I have grown to get to know myself a little more, be grateful for my body, actually have time to bond with my baby outside of a relationship. And I'm extremely, extremely, extremely proud of myself for overcoming the battle of depression and anxiety during this time. I know that this has been a tough time for everyone, even those who are not pregnant. But I'm proud of my growth and where I am now. So I am, again, very excited but nervous at the same time about labor and delivery. But I trust my body and I trust God to help me through this process. And I know that it will be so liberating and joyous when I actually get to hold my baby in my arms. I do thank you for tuning in and watching. Make sure that you leave some comments down below if you are a pregnant mama going through this journey during the pandemic. Let me know how you feel, what you encountered. If you also want to leave some encouraging words, that would be great as well. And I wish you all the best.